Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to episode 6 of the Mr. Camilleri Show. Huge shout out to everybody that is watching and everybody that subscribed. I appreciate you and I hope that I inspire you as much as you inspire me. Yo, DJ, drop a beat for the learning target of the day. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we focused on regrouping in episode 2, but for episode 6, we're going to focus specifically on regrouping with two-digit numbers. Alright, so the learning target of the day for Friday, March 25th is I can use regrouping to solve two-digit subtraction problems. Success criteria: determine if regrouping is needed, take away 1 from the tens place and add 10 to the ones place, solve 8 two-digit subtraction problems, and at least 5 subtraction problems with regrouping correctly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now I am going to do 4 examples. For the first example, I'm actually going to start off with an example that does not require regrouping because I want you to understand the difference. I want you to understand when to regroup and when not to regroup. So we regroup whenever there is a digit in the ones place or tens place where the bottom number is bigger than the top number, where the number we're subtracting is bigger. So we have 97 minus 62 here. Let's look at the ones place first. Looking at the ones place, the numbers are 7 and 2. 7 is bigger than 2, so we do not need to regroup because the top number in the problem is bigger. You know, if the bottom number, if the number underneath the 7 was bigger, then we would need to regroup. But because the top number is bigger, we do not need to regroup. The 9 is bigger than the 6, so again, the top digits in both the ones place and the tens place are bigger. So for problem number 1, we can just go right to the subtraction. We do not need to regroup either of the numbers. So we're going to start off here. Seven minus 2 equals 5. So we have a 5 in the ones place. 9 minus 6 equals 3. We have a 3 in the tens place, 3 tens, 5 ones, and our answer is 35. Alright, example number 2. So remember, the first step before you do any subtraction is you determine whether regrouping is needed or not. We regroup when the number on the bottom in either the ones or tens place is bigger than the number on the top. So looking at the ones place first, 0 minus 9. Alright, so the bottom number is bigger. 9 is bigger than 0. We cannot start with 0 and take away 9, so that tells me that we do need to regroup. In the tens place, we have 5 minus 4. Alright, so the first step is we have to take a 1 away from the tens place. Alright, so we have 5 tens. We got to take a 10 away and add it to the ones from the tens place, take a 10 away from the tens place and add it to the ones place. So the 5 is going to become a 4. And then we have to add a 10 to the ones place. Now in your head, if you're thinking to yourself, I cannot add 0 plus 10. I don't know what 0 plus 10 is. I can't do that in my head. Believe me, you are not alone. You are not alone. So here's an easy way to think about it without having to do any math in your head. All you're doing is you're taking the number in the ones place and you're putting a 1 in front of it. A 1 in front of 0 is a 10. A 10 has a 1 and a 0 in it. So you're just putting a 1 in front of the number 0 and you're getting 10. Alright, now the last step is to subtract. So 10 minus 9 equals 1. And 4 minus 4 equals 0. And we have our answer. Alright, example number 3 now. 80 minus 74. Remember, before we do any subtraction, the first step is we have to check whether regrouping is needed or not. We regroup when the bottom number in the subtraction problem is bigger than the top number. So looking at the ones place, 4 is bigger than 0. We can't start out with 0 and take 4 away. We can't have nothing and take 4 away. So we are going to need to regroup. Then the tens place, 8 is bigger than 7. So we are going to have to regroup. So the number at the top in the ones place is bigger. So remember, we regroup by taking a 1 away from the tens place and adding 10 to the ones place. So the 8 in the tens place is going to become a 7. And the 0 in the ones place is going to become a 10. Now again, if you're saying to yourself, I cannot add 10 to whatever the number is, I can't in my head go 0 plus 10 equals 10. Think of it this way. All you're doing is you're rewriting the number with a 1 in front of it. You're just putting a 1 in front of the number. A 0 with a 1 in front of it. A 0 with a 1 in front of it is 10. Alright, so now we can get to the subtraction. 10 minus 4 equals 6. And 7 minus 7 equals 0. And we have our answer. 80 minus 74 equals 6. Alright, we have the last of the example problems now. Modeled example number 4, 82 minus 79. So remember, before we do any subtraction, the first step is we have to see whether or not we need to regroup. So looking at the ones place, okay, the bottom number is bigger. 9 is bigger than 2. So when the bottom number is bigger, that tells us that we need to regroup. We can't start out with 2 and then take away 9. And then we have 8 minus 7 in the tens place. Alright, so again, the first step, we got to take away 1 from the tens place. So 8 minus 1 is 7. Now we have to add a 10 to the ones place. So now, in your head, if you're going, I don't know what 2 plus 10 is. I can't add 10 to the number on the top in the ones place in my head. That's just too much for me. Again, you are not alone if you feel that way. So think of it like this. All you're doing is you're writing a 1 in front of the number. A 2 with a 1 in front of it is a 12. Alright, so now we're going to get to the subtraction. We're going to do 12 minus 9. 12 minus 9 equals 3. And 7 minus 7 equals 0. 82 minus 79 equals 3. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've always believed, healthy body, healthy mind. So I'm going to end episode 6 playing some basketball and explaining what to do after dunking on somebody. Stay tuned. All right. So there was nobody under the hoop, there was nobody guarding me. But let's say there was somebody under the hoop, and let's say that I succeeded in doing what LeBron James did to Kevin Love the other night. But what did I do after I dunked the ball? I ran as fast as I could back on defense, and I made sure I got into my defensive stance. I didn't pump my chest. I didn't yell. Ah! I didn't brag. I just ran back on defense, got into my defensive stance. Now, if you dunk on somebody and make sure you're the first person back on defense and don't react, it's going to send a coach 2 positive messages. 1, in addition to being talented, this person is humble. He's coachable. Humble and talented, that is a deadly combination. 2, this guy is so athletic that dunking is not even a big deal for him. It was so normal for him. It was so par for the course. He didn't even react after dunking the ball and getting 5 feet above the rim on somebody. So this must be his normal every day. He has been there before. He's done this before. This is normal for him. All right, so 2 positive messages. So in a game, if you score, if you dunk on somebody, even if you hit a 3-pointer, make sure that you're sprinting. You're the first person back on defense. At tryouts, if you're trying to play varsity, if you have the goals of playing college ball, doing those things after you score, it will look very good. It will leave a positive impression. All right, so that is my video for today. Hope you have a great rest of the day. You can rewatch the model problems as many times as you want. Also, when you're watching the problems that I model, what I would recommend, follow step by step and pause the video after you're completing each step. All right, that'll ensure that you really get the steps down and that you're able to master these skills. All right, have a great day, everybody.